Hey folks, here at osmvtxreviews.com. You're watching our video review of the Lofree MT-100. This is a wireless touch panel, or also known as a wireless mouse, that you can use with Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows Vista, and also your Mac computers. Essentially, it connects via a small USB 2.0 dongle onto your computer's USB jack, and you have a wireless 2.4G connection, and you can use it as an optical trackpad or a mouse, kind of similar to Apple's Magic TouchPad, and it has the ability to do pinch to zoom gestures and these different gestures that are supported on Windows 8 as well. In addition to being a larger kind of wireless touchpad, it also dubs as a numeric D-pad, so it has options and digits and numbers on it, for example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and some other special keys such as enter, volume, and as such. So you can also use it for doing calculations like in Excel if you're in accounting or you have to do a lot of math on your computer or inputting a lot of numbers. This is something that's also going to work. So the audience for this is going to be people who want a very cost-friendly wireless touchpad with some basic number input as well, because it's priced at only $10, which makes it very, very inexpensive to purchase, and you can find it on Amazon as well as eBay for that price. In addition, the device again comes with a micro USB cable and also some quick warranty guide, so it makes it a pretty good deal to take a look at if you are in the market for something like this. Taking a look at the packaging, it's pretty minimalistic. This device will of course also work if you're looking for a mouse, but you don't want a traditional mouse. It also will work as, again, kind of an optical trackpad mouse, so it's another option to go with. And of course, if your mouse on your current laptop or a netbook is broken, this will allow you to use kind of that to fix that feature on your PC. Of course, if you have something like a Surface tablet, it also works as kind of a wireless touchpad as well. Taking a look at the packaging, again, pretty clean, not too much going on here. It's made in Shenzhen, China, hence why the price tag is pretty low. It has the ultra-thin design, touch panel, also a numeric keypad. You can notice here that the actual keys are spelled wrong, which is kind of funny, but essentially that's it in the packaging. Opening up, we have access to the micro USB charging port itself, which includes the cable, which is pretty nice, especially since the price of the device is already pretty low. And of course, we have access to the USB dongle. We have access to some quick warranty guides, including a documentation that's printed entirely in Chinese, unfortunately. So there isn't actually a translated guide, despite this model being a international version. But you get the gist of it. There's also a quick warranty guide, so it seems to be pretty well constructed and made from the manufacturer. Putting everything off to the side, we have access to the main product itself, and we'll take a closer look at that in a second. First of all, we have the actual 2.4G connector, the USB 2.0 dongle. It's very, very small, so it's going to be pretty easy to connect to a PC, and you can even forget that's even there, which is nice, so you can slip your laptop into a sleeve without having to take it off every time you want to use your product, which is kind of nice. It's a plug-and-play device, so no software installation is needed and works with Windows 8 right out of the box. The micro USB charging is being used to charge and sync the product itself. If you don't want to use the wireless option, you can also plug the device directly into a computer using the USB cable provided. And so instead of being a wireless touchpad, it's going to be a wire touchpad. But otherwise, it's being used to charge the lithium-ion rechargeable battery, which can be used for about 3 weeks before you have to fully recharge it again. The cable is of a pretty good quality, and it has a pretty nice durability and length to it, which is nice, and we are pretty excited about that. The actual product, as you can see here, is surprisingly lightweight. It's crafted out of pretty nice materials, including some polycarbonate plastics, some soft touch materials for it to get some grip, and also you have access to some metal components on the front. So it definitely is a pretty premium looking handset and device in general that definitely belies the $10 price tag. It seems like something that's going to cost $50 or more, which is pretty cool. On the front here, we can see some of the gestures that are supported on the device, including panning up and down, going left and right to bring up the Windows start screens if you're using Windows 8, and of course pinching in and out of pictures and web pages by putting your fingers in and out like so. So a lot of different gestures that you can learn. That's pretty cool. The left-hand device features, on the left-hand side, we have access to a one-click key, allows you to toggle through some of the different shortcut features on the product, including turning the keypad on and off, which would be the numbers, as you can see here. If we rip off the screen protector, to turn off the trackpad, which is the mouse on and off, and then to toggle back and forth between it using as a general kind of navigational D-pad and number pad. So we have the option to select from that on this left click button. It's a pretty tactile key, it's pretty easy to press, which is nice. The top of the product features the power on and off toggle, where you can pretty easily toggle the device on and off, and there is an LED indicator. And also you have access to a micro USB cable for charging and syncing. The back of the device is pretty minimalistic. It says it works with Windows 8, and again, it's nice and slick, so it's not gonna really go anywhere if you put it on a desk surface, thanks to the soft touch materials employed. So overall, it definitely looks like a pretty nice and high-end touchpad. Again, we are fans of this metal strip, which adds to some value and to a high-end look to the product itself. So as far as the device itself operates, again, it is pretty much a traditional kind of optical wireless touchpad. As far as those are concerned, we have access to a pretty nice dimension, a pretty large size. So if you are in the market for something that's larger than your traditional touchpad, this device will work for you. You can, of course, pinch in and out for those gestures, swipe left and right. And during our testing, we found the Lofree MT-100 to be pretty sensitive in recognizing our gestures and recognizing our touches. So it's a pretty nice and simple trackpad, but also works very, very well. On the other hand, the actual buttons for the numeric D-pad, as you can see here, the number D-pad from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, page up and down, are a little bit more difficult to use, just because it's a little bit more difficult to see under some different angles, and also because it doesn't offer any haptic feedback. So if you're using this as just a number pad, these aren't buttons, of course. It's just a one-piece touch-sensitive panel that's been programmed to also dub as these features. So you're not going to get an audible click sound or a pressing kind of sensation whenever you press on these keys, if you don't want to use it as just a giant trackpad. So when you're using these separate buttons, it gets a little bit more tedious and a little bit less accurate, but overall it's still pretty easy to use. Some special functions in here include the number lock keys, keys for the up and down for the volume, for plus and minus, enter keys, page up and down keys for a scroll, four-way navigation toggle, and also a setting for the brightness, and also a slash key icon on your device. So it's a pretty easy to use interface. If we take a look at how the actual toggle for the USB 2.0 dongle for the wireless receiver is very small, and the 2.4G distance as far as the accuracy is concerned is pretty nice and wide. So even if we're roaming around in our offices, we can take the touchpad a nice distance from our computer and it will still be in range. And also, again, the product is very small, so it's not going to protrude too much from the laptop, which we are connected. It has a pretty nice length as well. When you're charging it, you can still use it, and it functions pretty nicely. Toggling through the device is quite easy as well. You can long press once to turn the mode on the device on and off, including the the general use as a mouse, and also you can toggle through to use as a traditional D-pad as far as the function keys and the number keys. And overall, it's a pretty intuitive user interface. Just long press or press once to get yourself associated with that. Again, it's plug and play, so no additional software. We can see that it's a pretty it's very simple to use, and it doesn't require too much to kind of get started. You can see we're using the mouse right now with our fingers, and it's very sensitive overall. It's easy to go up and down. We can also pinch to zoom like so, and it's a very easy to use experience overall. Of course, if we put it up on the screen here, we can see that a little bit more clearly. Again, it's fairly easy to use. It can scroll up and down as well. So it's a pretty sensitive touchpad, which we were surprised to find on such a low-cost product. The swipe gestures all work as well, so we can swipe from the left to bring up the shortcuts for the Windows keys, and that works fairly well as well. Of course, we can do all those different gestures from the different sides of the screen. So overall, this is definitely something that works pretty well, and we found it to be a nice way to navigate the Windows 8 user interface, a bit even easier than on the bundled trackpads and computers, just because the size of this trackpad is so much larger than the traditional one found on a regular laptop. The Lofree MT-100 wireless trackpad / numeric D-pad packs quite a lot for the punch. You are getting a pretty good deal for the money if you are looking for a wireless touchpad, or also a bundled touchpad if that's what you're looking for. It has a pretty good battery life, a very sensitive material on the front, so it's easy to navigate around with your fingers. It supports all the multi-touch gestures, and it works plug and play with Windows 8, so it's a pretty ideal situation here. Definitely we would recommend this product if you are looking for a very inexpensive touchpad as an accessory or an add-on to a tablet, to a laptop, or even a netbook. So overall, a pretty good purchase, we'd say. You can check out our full review on our website at osmbtxreviews.com, but that's been our video review here at osmbtxreviews.com. This has been the Lofree MT-100 wireless trackpad.